Yeah, I think it's over 100-mile-per-hour winds where he is right now. He is directly in that eye wall just south of Lake Charles at the Golden Nugget. He is in that parking structure, so he is safe. But if you were outside of that, you wouldn't be able to stand up in those winds. We saw all the trees down, and then when we went back to that shot, you couldn't see anything because all of the power was out. The flashes of light that we did have was from nearby lightning, and that's really all you could see. But you could certainly hear the ferocity of that storm as it was moving through. He is right in that eye wall. He is in the extreme wind warning, which is issued for winds in excess of 115 miles per hour. And Ted said that that might be the most extreme wind that he has ever been a part of, and he has been in a good amount of storms. Here is that eye wall again, and I put up the cone here. This is what I was talking about earlier. It does look like it's taking a more easterly path because the storm is moving due north, and that would mean that areas farther west, certainly here in southeast Texas, and even parts of in southeast Texas and even parts of Louisiana could miss out on the worst of that. I'm talking about an area like Beaumont, potentially the Sabine Pass, still certainly ugly weather, but likely to avoid that most extreme portion of the storm in the eye wall. Let's talk about some of these measured winds that we've been seeing here. Galveston near 30, Beaumont 61-mile-per-hour winds. And look at this, guys. Lake Charles, 128-mile-per-hour winds. This is where Ted is. This is an official wind measurement at 128-mile-per-hour winds. A lot of these other locations, you'll notice Port Arthur, Cameron, Alexandria, not showing any winds, and that's because it's broken. At this point, the winds got so strong that it just broke the sensor. And I would expect that 128-mile-per-hour winds there in Lake Charles, that will follow soon. But that is just incredible wind there as you get into the eye wall of this storm. Now, areas farther north, remember, this storm is lifting at 15 miles per hour, which is fairly fast for a tropical system. So as this lifts, areas farther north, whether it's Jasper, Fort Polk, Oakdale, we'll start to see those winds come up as well. I don't expect we're going to see another number like 128 here, as it will gradually, slowly weaken once this storm makes landfall. But no signs of it right now, as this is just a buzzsaw of a storm lifting up through Lake Charles. Soon, Lake Charles will actually be in that eye wall. They'll get a brief break. I would love, once that happens, to go back to Ted Oberg and get his take about just what it feels like once it goes from 128-mile-per-hour winds to essentially nothing. As far as what we're seeing in southeast Texas, essentially nothing is the right answer. We could see some isolated showers and storms. It will not be widespread, but once we get into the afternoon, there's at least a chance for some rain. The vast majority of this going to miss us well to the east. You'll notice we get some of that cloud cover here from that system, and that is about it. We've also been trimming back some of these watches and warnings. Remember, Harris County was in a tropical storm warning. It no longer is. Galveston was in a hurricane warning. That has been downgraded to a tropical storm warning. This is really much more of an issue for Louisiana, much less of an issue for us in southeast Texas. This storm's going to continue to lift, and actually as it does so, by Friday we get better rain chances from some of these what are called feeder bands that are going to be pulling up moisture from the Gulf. That's going to be our best chance for rain from this system, but it is an absolute monster of a storm right now through parts of Louisiana. 128-mile-per-hour measured winds, and I don't expect that's going to end anytime soon. We're going to be watching it all morning long. Thankfully, the key takeaway here in southeast Texas is that I do not expect widespread wind damage. I think we could even get away with minimal power outages here, as really the strongest portion of this storm is going to stay well to our east.